2, 1. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mike, and of course, joined by
me, Laura May.
and this is another episode of Hammered, and we want to thank you for joining us, whether you are on our YouTube channel, Naughty Donkey Productions, or you are listening to us on one of our preferred platforms, iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, wherever you get your podcasts. Welcome. And this is the Hammered episode of our top 5-ish Christmas movies. And this, of course, can bring a lot of controversy because, you know, everybody has a different Christmas movie that they go to every year. Some people don't call Christmas movies, some they do. I don't know. What's your take on that, Laura?
I think I am of the opinion that anything that you affiliate with Christmas can be a Christmas movie. Weirdly, I've got a friend of mine who watches The Wizard of Oz with his family every year at Christmas. The Wizard of Oz is not, like, by definition, a Christmas movie, but I feel like if that invokes kind of that spirit in your heart and in your soul, then, you know, sure, in your family, in your house, that's a Christmas movie, but there's definitely a fine line, I think, as to what makes a Christmas movie truly a Christmas movie. What are the criteria exactly? I know you did some research around this.
I did some research. So the criteria, there's 3 criteria that a couple of websites that I went to have. They must have this before them to be classified a Christmas movie. All right. So number 1, the film must primarily be set during the Christmas season. All right. So that's like any time in the stretch post Thanksgiving to Christmas Day. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with that one?
I am, yeah.
Okay. The film must include traditional Christmas figures in a prominent role. They don't have to be the protagonist. Okay. So we're talking like Santa Claus, Jesus, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty the Snowman, and Krampus. Okay. So the movie has to have a character that is, you know, known for Christmas.
I am prepared to combat that because on the list of like the top 50 or 100 best Christmas movies of all time, there are several movies in there that do not feature a prominently Christmas time character like Santa. Like Home Alone, there is no Santa.
But it has number 1. It has criteria number 1.
Okay, so I'm hearing in this criteria it's got to have like all 3 of these criteria. It just has to have how many of these?
At least 2 of the 3.
Okay, what's the third?
All right, so the third one is the film must feature one of the traditional Christmas themes, such as love, hope, generosity, faith, redemption, family, or fear. Yes, fear.
I get that with A Christmas Carol, but I feel like that has more like redemption and I guess that loving and familial spirit that comes with Christmas. But what a fear! I'm very confused by that one. Fear of what?
There are some like horror movies that are Christmas based. None of them are in my like top 10, but it's like Black Christmas. Krampus is kind of a horror.
Krampus was scary. Fear. Yeah, we did watch that for the first time together recently. That
possesses 2 of the criteria. It has Krampus, of course, which is a predominant Christmas figure, and it has fear.
It's scary.
Yeah.
And nobody, I feel like, there definitely wasn't that feeling of like family and love and generosity and giving in that movie.
Yeah.
Now the one we watched, what year was it from? Like 2009 or something. I was surprised by how new it was, but I was told that was a remake. So I'm interested to see the original. Krampus.
The Krampus we watched was really freaky. It was, I don't know. It was bad puppeteering, first off. Because Krampus, towards the end, when the kid was facing off with him, he kept his mouth open. His mouth was like this the whole time. It was like they didn't make the puppet to close its mouth. It was constantly.
Krampus looked to me like he was in rigor mortis, which also makes it like quite frightening. So I guess I need to do, my own research around like who is Krampus, and is he a dead person turned into a scary monster who scoops up naughty children and eats them?
I don't know. Spoiler alert, but it kind of freaked me out the way it ended. It ended with the kid waking up, and I called it when we watched it. I was like, watch, this is all going to be a dream.
Mm-hmm.
But the kid woke up, but he went down, got with his family that was all quote unquote killed during the movie, and everything was happy and lovely. They sat around the couch and were sitting there smiling, and then all of a sudden he got that little amulet that had Krampus's name on it, and then everybody just starts staring at the kid, and then the shot goes long and it shows that they're all in a house inside a snow globe,
which I'm assuming just became part of Krampus's weird collection of families he's eaten.
That he is, yeah, with his weird tribe of monsters. But anyway, Krampus, that's a real creepy ass movie. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to count down from number 5 to 1 our top Christmas movies. Okay? And typical Hammered fashion, ladies go first on this show. So, Laura, what's your number 5?
So it's funny that you're starting with number 5 because it's a very new Christmas movie, and it's exclusively on Netflix, from what I understand, called Klaus. This one was released, I think, in 2020. But this, I think, is a very fun, very heartwarming kind of retelling of Santa's origin story, who he was and where he came from and how he ended up being Santa Claus. I just think it's so special. And I watched this, it's animated, it's lighthearted, it's got the animation for the kids and like the funny dialogue, but it really does just like truly hit home, the spirit of Christmas, and not necessarily family, but coming together as a community and as neighbors to be good to one another. I just think, it truly stole my heart the first time I watched it. I was decorating my apartment for Christmas last year, and I'm like, I need to watch something Christmassy. So I'm on Netflix, and boom, there it was. And it was absolutely precious. It stole my heart. 10 out of 10 recommend to anyone to watch this for a feel-good Christmas movie.
So a simple act of kindness always sparks another, even in frozen, faraway place, when Smearsburg's new postman, Jesper, befriends toymaker Klaus. Their gifts melt an age-old feud and deliver a sleigh full of holiday traditions. That is the summary on IMDb. Looks like fun. We got anybody famous in here on top cast? We got Jason Schwartz, J.K. Simmons.
Does he play Klaus?
He is. He is the voice of Klaus, and we have.
Let me tell you what an exceptional job he does. That kind of booming, resounding, deep from the diaphragm kind of voice that you anticipate from Santa Claus. First of all, I did not realize J.K. Simmons had voiced Klaus. So that is like truly hats off to that performance. That was good. That was good.
J.K. Simmons, I only know him as the State Farm man. Is it State Farm?
Farmers. We are farmers. Do you remember that time he won an Academy Award and the host was like, he won an Oscar?
No, but I'm gonna have to look that up now.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Was that recently?
I think like 2 years ago. I don't watch the Academy Awards really anymore, but I just happened to catch that one.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what the role was he won this Oscar for, but I remember cracking up after that.
Cracked up.
Mm-hmm.
We are hammered. Bump, 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 bump.
What is your number 5?
Thank you for that segue. My number 5, of course, one of my favorite actors. Yeah, you know who that is, right?
Yes, I'm aware. That's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. My number 5 is, of course, Jingled All The Way.
Did you say jingled?
I did say jingle, but it's actually Jingle All The Way, but I feel jingled right now because this is hammered. All right, so Jingle All The Way. It's got Sinbad in it. It's got Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they are on the search for a Turbo Man. I want the Turbo Man. We watched this together, right?
Yes, we did.
I think we did.
Christmas.
You
You were shocked. You were floored all the way that I had never seen it before. Actually, I don't know if that was the case so much as you were just like, well, we're watching this anyway.
Well, that's probably how it went down.
I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, so the summary of Jingle All The Way is Arnold Schwarzenegger is, this busy ass businessman, and he never has time for his son, which that's like the premise of a lot of movies out there, busy parent, the kid's always disappointed. But this one, Arnold promised his son the toy of the year, which is a Turbo Man doll. Turbo Man. I need the Turbo Man doll. But anyway, so it turns out Sinbad promised his child the same thing, and somehow they cross paths and they're chasing the same Turbo Man doll, and the whole movie is just Sinbad versus Arnold and who will get the Turbo Man doll. And for people that haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it because it's a great watch. I think Arnold shows his softer side. He makes a few good comedies and child movies. He's not all about action and hey, get to the chopper.
I mean, there was some action.
Yeah, there was a nice battle at the end between Turbo Man, aka Arnold Schwarzenegger,
and the bad guys, I think, who were they were trying to like steal the last doll or something, or like blow up the parade. I don't know. Something happened where Arnold Schwarzenegger had to be Arnold Schwarzenegger and like fight people.
Of course, he's going to have his Arnold time.
Yeah, naturally.
He's got to have it. I mean, he is Arnold.
I'll say, as someone who would not pick an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie to watch at Christmas time, I was pleasantly surprised. It wasn't like super cheesy, like it was bad, but it like knew it was bad. It owned that, and it was good as a result. Other bad Christmas movies out there don't kind of harness that kitschiness and goofiness that Jingle All The Way does. So I would definitely give it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, and it lives every year. I mean, it doesn't age. You can watch it, even though Arnold's aging. Pretty bad, actually. But, even though Arnold's aging.
No, he looks great. Are you kidding?
But anyway, Jingle All The Way. Great watch. I have to watch it every year. It's on my to-watch list. Matter of fact, we haven't watched it yet, so it's coming down. We got to do it.
It's time.
It's time. So your number 5 is Klaus. My number 5 is Jingle All The Way.
Something else, kind of to your point about Jingle All The Way, how it doesn't age. It ties very well year after year. The opening scene, or it's sometime in the beginning where like the flood of people like bum rush a mall to find the toy of the year. That's, I would say, pre-pandemic, that's exactly how this nation has progressed for sure. Now the pandemic has changed how people are shopping for those things, but I would say, like, to your point, it just kept kind of accelerating in that direction. When was that film made? What, 80? something.
Yeah. No, it was probably like
Early
early
90s.
90s or so. Yeah. I should have that, but I don't.
It's just kind of sad to think like 30 years ago, people were like getting trampled to acquire a product. And 30 years later, like that's still a thing that's happening.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just a few years ago, before the pandemic, of course, I waited in line at 4:30 in the morning at Best Buy to get a Super NES Classic. That was ridiculous. I don't think I would ever do anything like that again.
As someone who has worked 15 consecutive Black Fridays in her career, I have never, nor will I ever, go shopping on a Black Friday for as long as I live.
Well, it's fun. You meet different people in the lines. I mean, when you're in line for an hour and a half, when it's freezing at 4:00 in the morning to get this toy, you meet people that are like of similar ilk, and you have good conversations.
I
have done
appreciate
that.
truly your positive spin on that,
Yeah.
but there is nothing on the face of this planet that I want enough to be awake at 4:30 in the morning to go shopping for it.
Well, noted. I know that now. Okay. So we got our number 5s.
Mm-hmm.
What's your number 4?
What is my number 4?
Oh boy, I think it's boom boom right here.
I think it is Scrooged. I was
Scrooge, the little Bill Murray classic.
Yes. What I love about Scrooged is the updated spin, I guess, on the classic A Christmas Carol. But what is done so well about this movie is Bill Murray's like true transformation. Like when you see A Christmas Carol on stage, it's to me, it just does not harness that transformation. I mean, you see what a bitter asshole he is in the beginning, and you're like, you hate him. You hate him so much as a person and as a character. And then by the end of the movie, you truly see how that experience has scared him shitless to a point.
Let's go, Bulls!
That was Bill Murray.
For those of you who have not tuned into the very first episode of Renaissance Broads, Michael has found a soundboard that will now be implemented evidently going forward. So I apologize in advance. So Scrooged, I think, very fun, innovative retelling of the classic A Christmas Carol. And I think the ghosts were great. I think all of the characters are just very well developed. So you really feel who they are in their essence. I love the development, you know. Christmas Past for me, I think, was probably my favorite because you really got to see how happy Ebenezer's character was before, you know, some trauma happened and he became an asshole. So I think Scrooge by far is the best retelling of Christmas Carol.
That's fair. That's a 1998 movie. One of like Bill Murray's movies right after Ghostbusters. You know, that was back when Bill Murray was hot.
And he's hilarious. Like, he's honestly like a genuinely funny actor. I don't think that really exists out there.
And, you know, it had Karen Allen, known for Indiana Jones and her fame from there. I think that's pretty much Scrooge and Indiana Jones movies was pretty much all she was known for. You got John Forsythe, Bobcat Goldthwait. Yeah, he was Elliot Loudermilk. He was like the version of What's Scrooge's?
Jacob
Marley?
Marley.
Jacob Marley, yeah. He was like the version of Jacob Marley in the movie. Yeah, okay. Solid pick at number 4. My number 4 is also Scrooged.
Amazing.
Yes.
Get out of my head.
I think you were in my head first. Yes, because I'm older than you. So I've seen Scrooge a lot more than you. Yeah. But I kind of agree with a lot of the points that you said. I like Scrooge because it's a newer telling of the movie A Christmas Carol. I like the spin on it. I like that they built Scrooge. I like that they built Bill Murray's character.
Easy.
Oh my God. I like that they built Bill Murray's character up to be such an asshole. Like, he was rude to everybody on the set of the movie. And he had this relationship with the girl's name that I said like 5 times. I just forgot it. Karen Allen, yes. And then all of a sudden he gets visited by all these ghosts. The taxi driver one is like his like Marley one, right?
That I believe was Christmas Past.
Christmas Past.
Jacob Marley was I think his Christmas Present.
Wow. Guess who needs to watch Scrooged again? Or not do this podcast while drinking like Tito's. Oh.
He's talking about himself, guys. But no, I mean, this is like any Christmas film. It's just something you watch once a year. So I think it's time.
Yeah, you don't watch Scrooge like during the summer or the spring. It's definitely a Christmas movie. But it's a good one.
Through. And a very, very good one.
Okay. So now we're going to your number 3. Can you say it?
I can. It's just, when I put this list together, I was kind of rushed and I was given instructions.
Do you want to move that to another pick?
Harshly. So I was quite scattered when I assembled this list. But no, I would say Fat Man is, in fact, my number 3. This is, again, another new film overall, but a new Christmas film that has definitely made its way into the yearly rotation in the Hammered studio. So Fat Man, starring Mel Gibson as Santa Claus. And I know you will vocalize this as well because, spoiler alert, I know this is on your list as well. There is action, there is love, there is hate, there is revenge, there's a hitman, and Mel Gibson plays like a truly badass Santa Claus. Like, you see the softness in his heart that we are, developed to believe that Santa has, but he's also like this battle-worn, like a soldier. He's like an old, tired soldier who just keeps doing what he does because he has to do it. So that's kind of what I love about it, is like Santa is not your jolly, rosy-cheeked, everybody's favorite grandpa. Like, he's a jaded, worn out, tired slave to his career, but he does it so well.
I'm not going to touch on it right now because it's on my list. So I'm going to come back later and give my opinion on it. But I do agree with everything you're saying right now about it. It's
that means
one of the great
it's
ones.
higher up on your list, which I think is so fascinating. I think it's so cool that there are so many great new movies that are being done well enough to find their homes in our top 5 favorite Christmas films of all time. I don't know about you, but my top 2 are classics, like actual classics made and produced and watched decades before I was even born. So it's very cool for me to see movies being developed that fall in the likes of those films as well.
Yeah, it's tough to get a new Christmas movie in that everybody enjoys. It seems those days where they made the classics are over. But every once in a while, you got one like Fat Man that slips in. So that was your, number 3?
Yes.
My number 3 is a classic from the early 2000s. It would be Mr. Will Ferrell's Elf. And, the picture right here, just look at Will Ferrell. Come on. He's like 6'6", 6'5", and he's playing an elf. All right. You can't beat this movie. This is a Christmas classic. Gosh, am I going to be okay? Did I just have a stroke?
I don't know, babe.
Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus. Anyway.
Guys, let me paint the picture for you. We're downstairs, and he's pouring himself his second drink of the evening, and he tips the Tito's bottle and literally starts, shaking it into his glass.
Oh, my God. What happened to your arm?
Splashing out.
Your arm is gone. Oh, my God.
It's splashing out of the glass, and he's like, oh my God, I didn't realize there was that much left, and you're still shaking it into the glass, and it's like,
and I don't believe in wasting, so I drank it all in pretty fast time too, getting ready for the show. But yeah, so Elf.
Moving along.
So Elf, so basically you've got Will Ferrell. He was raised by Santa Claus. Okay, and he grew up with the elves. As the elves stayed the same size, Will Ferrell kept to grow because he's not of elf ink. Not ink, but inkling, I guess, is the word I'm looking for, right? Come on, Miss Grammar. That's right.
I think, I guess maybe, is that
elk?
An ethnicity?
He is not of elf elk.
Kin?
That's what you would say.
What is elk?
Well, it depends on how you're using it.
Elk is an animal.
It's an animal.
But
it's not of elf
kin? Origin?
Breed. It's another word. It's like a synonym
race?
For it.
Species?
Ilk. He's not of elf ilk.
Ethnicity?
It's like elk, but it's pronounced ilk.
Background?
I hope this is right. But anyway, he's not of elf ilk. He doesn't have the DNA of an elf. So he continues to grow because he is a human child, not an elf. And, he lives in the North Pole with Santa Claus, and he wants to find his parents, and he somehow gets up with the snowman from Frosty the Snowman, and they somehow get him to New York, and he hooks up with some people, and he finds his dad and starts working at his shop, and it was a shit show. It was a Will Ferrell shit show, and it was great. It had all the components of a Christmas movie. By far one of the classic Christmas movies.
I personally think your retelling of Elf is far and beyond better than the actual movie.
Oh, you saw the end of it, right? It's awesome.
It's so awesome. It's awesome.
Elf is by far my top 3. All right. What's your number 2, Laura?
Weirdly, Elf did not make it even into my top 5, and that's no shade.
That's a fucking travesty. I just don't even know how.
No shade whatsoever. It cracks me up every time I watch it. I think it's funny. I'm not Will Ferrell's biggest fan, to put it gently, but I think it's cute. It's a very cute movie.
Okay. Cuteness is documented.
My number 2 is It's a Wonderful Life. And I appreciate this movie mostly for nostalgic purposes, just like my number 1 as well. But It's a Wonderful Life, I think, like my other choices, truly just embodies the meaning of Christmas. George Bailey falls on some hard times, and he is prepared. Essentially, he's like, the world would be a better place if I had never been born. Mm-hmm. So his Christmas angel, his guardian angel, arrives and shows him exactly what life would be like if he had not existed. And it's very poignant. There's so much in that movie that today people can resonate with. You know, he got laid off. He fell on some financial hardship. He has like 4 kids he has to care for. His house is kind of run down and dingy. But at the end of the movie, he is brought back, I guess, to the present day where he is, you know, existing, and everyone misses him and they're wondering where he is. And the whole community comes together to help him and his family. And I just think it's a very like emotional and very poignant and very heartfelt story about what Christmas means. What does it mean to be a family and a community? I'm tearing up. I think it's a really great movie.
I hate to disappoint you because I have nothing to add to it, because this is the honest to God truth.
Oh my God, Michael, no.
I have never seen It's a Wonderful Life from the beginning to the end. Never. It's in black and white. I can't get into it.
Guess
maybe I should watch
what?
the colored version. I don't know.
There is not a colored version.
Yes, I think they do have those.
Oh, why would they do that? No, it's best in black and white.
I have never watched It's a Wonderful Life and have never planned to. And I know it runs like all day on Christmas Day on one of them cable channels.
No. That's not the movie.
No, that's a Christmas Story.
Yes.
It's a Wonderful Life has to, or is that on New Year's Day?
No, it's no. I know my family. This was one of the like 2 to 3 movies that we just kept on loop on Christmas Day growing up.
Why would you do that? Why would you watch the same movie over and over and over and over?
Why not?
True. Why not?
Well, you have to watch it, because if you're coming to my family's house on Christmas and you show up like I've never watched It's a Wonderful Life, like you're walking home. You're gonna get thrown out back with my mom's chickens. Like that's the end of you. But no, really, like in terms of like truly like warm and poignant and heartfelt Christmas stories, you have to watch it. You really do.
Okay. Noted. I'm going to try to get that in.
Well, we are going
to try to get that in. I'm not saying it's happening tonight. I'm not watching.
Before we watch Jingled All The Way.
Aye.
And before we watch, what was your other one?
A Turbo Man doll. I need a Turbo Man.
We have to. You make me watch stuff I've never seen before all the time. Now, this one's on you. We're watching Klaus. We're watching It's a Wonderful Life.
Well, these movies were made after 1990.
Klaus was not. Klaus was made in 2020.
It was decent. It's not on my top 5, but
you didn't watch Klaus.
No, I was thinking Krampus. Whoops. Okay.
Klaus and Krampus are 2 very, very different movies.
Okay, so that was your number 2. It's a Wonderful Life. All right. My number 2 has stirred up so much controversy, and every year throughout social media, Facebook, you name it, wherever you do your social media, it's like being a Republican or a Democrat. You're either for or against this, okay? And there is no in between. Die Hard. Die Hard, actually, is the number 2 Christmas movie on IMDb. So all these people that want to argue about Die Hard and not being a Christmas movie, they're completely wrong. It is. It is the Christmas movie. It has 2 of the 3 components that make up a holiday movie. Okay?
Fear.
What?
Fear.
Oh, it has fear. It has redemption. You know, John McClane's trying to be redeemed with his ex-wife. Redeemed. Anyway, actually, hold on, right here. So Die Hard, okay, the argument that started it all, right here. But honestly, I don't even know why there's an argument. Okay, because this movie, it's set at Christmas. It features the redemption of John McClane, as well as the film's true hero, which is Sergeant Powell. You know, the overweight black guy that we know from Family Matters. Family Matters fame after Die Hard. You ever seen Family Matters?
No, I know him from Die Hard.
Okay, well, I think he was the dad in Family Matters. You know Urkel, Steve Urkel?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It counts. It's definitely a Christmas movie.
I am confused as to why there is any argument about whether it is a Christmas movie or not.
Well, because people are thinking there's killing, there's hostages, there's action, there's Bruce Willis, and then there's that. But yeah, Die Hard is definitely a Christmas movie. And there's one that I'm thinking of right now that I forgot to put on my list. It could have been an honorable mention. Actually, I could have moved it into my top 5 and bumped probably Jingle All The Way out. Yeah.
No.
But Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon is just as much a Christmas movie as Die Hard. I mean, by God, it comes on with Bobby Helms as Jingle Bell Rock. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell
I know
rock.
this song.
And then the girl's doing drugs and she jumps and commits suicide in the car. And throughout the movie, there's Christmas lights, there's Christmas references, there's scenery in Christmas. Lethal Weapon is a Christmas movie.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, but isn't the end of the movie when not Bruce Willis, that's Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson. Fat Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mel Gibson, like, joins his, like, partner's family for Christmas. Like, is that...
Yeah, he does. Is it Christmas, though? Is it Christmas dinner or
Yeah.
whatnot?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm certain.
It's Christmas, yeah.
I do need to revisit that one because lest we forget,
We'll watch it. How about
last
that?
year, not before It's a Wonderful Life, last year you said, do you want to watch someone fall from a building? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's time to watch.
That was Die Hard.
Yeah, no, but what did you say? You looked me in my eyes and you were like, it's time to watch somebody fall from Nakatomi Plaza.
It's time to watch Hans Gruber
That's it.
fall from Nakatomi Plaza. When you watch that, you know Christmas is here.
I looked at you and we just held each other's gaze and you were like, oh my God, you have no idea what I'm talking about. It was in that moment when I said, no, it's that Mel Gibson movie when he tries to go find his daughter, right? And you were like, oh my fucking God.
It's another Christmas movie, but the wrong one. You know what? And one of the greatest villains of all time in any Christmas movie. As I'm trying to pull up the cast
Hans
right now,
Gruber.
Alan Rickman.
Yes, Alan Rickman's
rest
great.
In peace,
May
Alan
he rest
Rickman,
in peace.
Mr. Hans Gruber, you made protagonists of Christmas movies a thing.
You know, speaking of Alan Rickman, I am going to slip one of my honorable mentions in real quick, and I'm going to say Love Actually. Definitely,
It's not time for our honorable mentions,
but,
though.
we can talk honorable mentions anytime, know?
Okay,
And I think this
all right.
is a good time before we get into our leaderboards here. Love Actually, I think, is one of the greatest ensemble cast movies of all time. I love seeing everyone's stories unfold. I love seeing the drama, the heartbreak, the passion, the humor. Like, it's all so good. And I will go out on a limb and say, if not in my top 5 or 6, Love Actually, I think, is definitely in the top 10 greatest Christmas movies of all time.
Well, it also has Grant.
Hugh?
Hugh.
You said
You.
you Grant.
Hugh Grant.
What do you have against H's?
He definitely, I have no idea if I can't stand him, actually. And 2 L's that are together in Spanish. They just screw me up all day. So, I mean, in Love Actually, we got Hugh Grant. And we also have Alan Rickman.
Yes.
Greatest protagonist in any
Who
Christmas movie ever.
Actually plays like a really terrible, terrible guy in this movie, and it makes me so sad. I mean,
Well, he always plays the terrible guys.
But this is like the worst of the worst, where he starts wooing some young chick at work and buys her a necklace.
So he's harassing.
No, he's like into it, and his wife in the movie like finds the necklace he bought, and she's like, oh my god, he got me a necklace. And on the Christmas morning she opens up the gift and it's a fucking CD, and she knows in that moment, oh my god, that
no.
necklace was not for me.
Oh, it's for a side piece.
Oh my god, the heartache, the gut wrenching. And then in the next scene you see her just standing in the bedroom alone, sobbing and like having to pull her shit together and go back out and give her kids Christmas.
How was that a fun, loving movie to watch with the family?
I mean, that's really kind of the only like terrible part in it. But
So it's got Liam Neeson in it too. So is he like going through the movie kicking people's asses?
I'm not sure where Liam Neeson is in this film.
He's in it. He's one of the best action heroes ever.
Pull that up. Who does he play in Love Actually?
You're gonna make me work here. Let's just see here.
I may get crucified for this, but there's like way too many people to keep up with in Love Actually.
I was impressed the cast. I mean, Liam Neeson, he is in it. It doesn't say who he plays on IMDb. Let's see, Julie Peter Mark.
Oh my god, he's gonna play like the
Keira Knightley's in it too.
Yeah, she's
What?
yeah.
Colin Firth.
Yes.
Alan Rickman.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So this movie, Daniel, that's Liam Neeson. That's Karen's closest friend. Mourns the recent death of his wife. So Liam Neeson's wife dies in this movie. So Liam Neeson's not kicking anybody's ass. He's not ripping people's heads off, shooting them, stabbing people like he does in his other movies.
Wow, my memory suppression really kicked in on Liam Neeson in that movie. Yikes.
That's a shame because one of the top stars today. What's Hugh Grant doing right now? He's not Hugh Jackman. He is Jackin.
Hugh
Grant is sleeping with prostitutes. Okay.
Hugh.
That's what I'm saying. All right, let's move on to the next movie. Love Actually, ladies and gentlemen, she just like talked about her honorable mention, and I'm going to go ahead and go to my number one because she violated our rules. My number one is, of course, the greatest Christmas movie of all time, and 100% of our listeners are going to agree with me right now. 100%. It's that time. Christmas time is here. Hip hip hooray for Christmas Vacation.
Oh, yes.
That is the greatest Christmas movie of all time. Chevy Chase at his best. This movie, I watch it at least 3 times every Christmas. I watch it 4 times. If it's on, it's one of those movies when you're flicking the cable and you come across it, you're going to stop and you're going to just block everything out and you're going to watch Christmas Vacation. You know, so many famous one-liners. That rant he goes off on at the end of the movie. And I just bought a Hallmark ornament that is awesome. Throw a couple of batteries in it and it recites like this scene with Russ and Clark when he is about to put the lights on the house. And it was the one famous line where he says, Russ, when have you known me to overdo anything?
And
it's
I
great.
feel like that is going to be etched into your gravestone. Because that line alone truly embodies just who you are as a person.
Yeah,
and I think
pretty
that's
much.
why you love it so much.
Me and Clark Griswold, we do have a lot in common. Go Getters.
So,
Why are you laughing at that? That's just
I am.
ridiculous.
That tickled me.
I think you were looking at my sweatshirt. That's what made you laugh.
Okay, well, earlier, I had to really bite back a laugh because I was looking at your sweater and I noticed there is a stain on the bottom reindeer. And I cannot tell you. In fact, you might be able to see it when you go back through there was a moment where I was just like staring at your shirt and I had to purse my lips to stop from laughing. There's a stain right underneath where reindeer number 2 is mounted on the bottom reindeer, and it's
okay. So like for people that are listening to this and not watching on YouTube, I'm wearing a sweatshirt. It's 3 reindeers having sex. The first reindeer is on all fours. Then there's another reindeer directly behind that one, getting it reindeer style, quote unquote, doggy
giving
style.
it.
Yeah, and then there's like, I'm going to just go ahead and say that it's a homosexual reindeer behind that one, giving it to the other deer. It's got to be, yeah.
Or
So
it's my understanding only male reindeer shed their antlers. So females have their antlers in the wintertime. So these are
right.
2 female reindeer
no,
with
that's-
strap-ons on,
No,
giving it to the 3rd female reindeer at the bottom.
No, they all have antlers.
Yeah, they're all females.
Only the males have antlers.
No, I just read this thing. Females keep their antlers.
No.
Female reindeers have antlers.
Female reindeer.
I did not dream this.
Are you
Hold,
talking about
please.
reindeer? Female reindeer have antlers?
Yes.
Because I only know, like, okay, so white-tailed deer only have... males
Both
only
male
have
and female reindeer grow antlers, while in most other deer species, only the males have antlers. Compared to
Oh.
their body size, reindeer have the largest and heaviest antlers of all living deer species. Thank you.
Oh, so I'm wrong here. So this could be 3... It could be 3 female reindeer with strap-ons. Except for the bottom one. The
What
bottom
I
one could be a
did
guy.
read, male reindeer shed antlers. Google. Males drop their antlers in November, leaving them without antlers until the following spring, while females keep their antlers through the winter until their calves are born in May. So it is 12 amazing women pulling Santa's sled.
Not Rudolph. Rudolph is a male.
Fuck
Who
Rudolph.
would name a girl
Like,
Rudolph? Don't say fuck Rudolph. He's the most famous reindeer.
no, fuck Rudolph.
No. I'm offended by that.
Also, you have 3 female reindeer fucking on your sweater.
No, so this is a female. Okay, this one. This one, I don't know, could go any way. But this one, definitely a guy. I mean, look at him. He's just looking up at the sky. He's basically got a phone looking at it.
Look at him. He's not even connecting with the middle reindeer. So he's just like dry humping her, wishing he were a part of this.
All right, where did this go wrong? This is turned into a trade wreck.
This was your fault because you thought I was laughing at your sweater. So I had to tell you why I was laughing at your sweater earlier. And then you had the audacity to tell me I was wrong about female reindeer antler.
Laura.
And that's how we got here.
What is your number 1 Christmas movie?
A Christmas Story.
Oh my God. You
And
can put your eye out with that.
this movie has
That's what she said.
it all. I mean, when I say it has it all, I am not exaggerating. There is what I love about this is it's just like from beginning to end following a family's Christmas story. There's no like apex, there's no climax, there's no denouement, there's nothing crazy behind this story. It's just a kid, what he wants for Christmas, everything he goes through to get it, and his family and how crazy they are. And it has it all. It's got love. It's got love. It's got family. It's got
It has all 3. Well,
drama. It does have fear. When he shoots his eye out, you'll shoot your eye out. You'll shoot your eye out.
my favorite part's when they stuck their tongues to the pole. Yeah.
I triple dog dare you.
No, I've done that before, actually.
It's the
When I worked in a grocery
voiceover.
store.
Oh my God.
When I worked in a grocery store, I went in the deep freezer and just like did it one time just to see, and yeah, totally stuck it.
Did they have to call the fire department?
No, I ended up just getting it free myself. I was like 17. Young and dumb, you know. It happens.
So A Christmas Story, as I was saying earlier, this has more nostalgic reasons for me behind it being my number one. This, growing up with like basic cable, and I think it's TBS plays it 24 hours on Christmas Day.
All day.
That is
You're going
what
to shoot your eye out all
we did. And honestly, honest to God, from the bottom of my heart, it never got old. Honestly, it just gets better. Every time I watch it, every year, the same jokes are still hysterical, except kind of growing up and going like, wow, what a lovely like family tradition treasure, and it's deeply racist components involved. So there's,
What were the racist components?
oh my God, when they go to the Chinese restaurant for Christmas
I
dinner,
remember that. And the dude, it wasn't
and
even a
the
Chinese guy. It was like a white guy playing a Chinese guy.
carolers are singing and grossly misrepresenting
Ooh.
a Mandarin dialect.
What?
It is deeply offensive, but I would say that aside, hysterical movie, and I think it's very a very innocent point of the storytelling. So it's this the voiceover for me all the time is older, the grown-up version of the main character kid just kind of retelling the story, and he voices over the story as we see it. And I just think it's precious. It's a precious story, and it's funny, and the leg lamp, like, that never stops being funny.
Which is everywhere.
Exactly.
The leg lamp is everywhere. The Christmas ornaments, the little
Yeah.
statues you can put on the yard. It's crazy.
If you get it, you get it. And I feel like everyone at this point should know that it's a major award. He's never won anything in his life, and he won this leg lamp, this heinous leg lamp, and it's now like a household treasure. If you don't have a leg lamp ornament somewhere in your home,
I do not have a leg lamp ornament.
well, I hope Hallmark makes an ornament of
They
it.
do. They're $19.99.
Perfect.
So, hey, are you listening out there? Send me leg lamp ornaments. Christmas story.
Oh no!
So there you go.
Poor tree is just going to be. So I'm gonna interject real quick and say that I fucked up because I just got I think a little excited and again rushed and pressured to pick my favorite Christmas movies. And there was one that I had listed that I had not yet spoken on, and that is A Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, how did you miss that one? Like,
Well-
what position is that even in your countdown?
And that's kind of why I think it was a little problematic for me to speak on because, again, I was a little rushed
No, here's where you screwed up.
putting this together.
Because you wanted to go to your honorable mention. You went to your honorable mention, Love Actually, out of turn.
Love Actually never made it into like my top 5.
It was an honorable mention.
The Nightmare Before Christmas for me, I don't know like if it were going to go into my top 5. I don't know who it would replace. I wish I could have 6 top 5s.
It was your top 3. That was your third one. That's how you listed it to me. And then I think you put It's a Wonderful Life as your third. And that's where you forgot about A Nightmare Before Christmas because I skipped over it. And then I clicked on it and I was like, oh, she skipped A Nightmare Before Christmas.
No, I knew it's a
it's
Wonderful
on video.
Life.
It's on video. You can.
And I
definitely see
knew A Christmas Story are my top 2. But there are just so many good ones. The Nightmare Before Christmas, much like Die Hard, definitely invokes a lot of controversy. And you can attest to this because you're like, but it's Halloween. And I'm like, but it's the story of Jack Skellington falling in love with Christmas and that wonder and the magic that comes with the snow and the lights and baking pies, and this is all so wonderful, and how come he didn't know about this his whole life? And like watching him fall in love with Christmas is what makes it in and of itself a Christmas movie.
Yeah, it's definitely a Christmas movie. It has all three of the elements, actually. Santa Claus even plays a part in this movie, I believe.
Yeah,
He's
like
in Christmas land.
they
so.
kidnap him.
Yeah, so yeah. A Christmas movie. Jack Skellington and his Christmas ornaments are all over the place.
However, and I think when I realized I had inadvertently skipped over The Nightmare Before Christmas, for me personally, I want to watch The Nightmare Before Christmas more at Halloween than I do at Christmas. So that's why I think I kind of let it fall to the wayside. But definitely in my top 10.
So it's basically in your top 5, though. I think it's in your top 5.
If
it's in your top 5.
I'm not. My only thing is like I don't know who I would boot from my top 5 to make it.
It's actually in your top 5.
Into the top 5.
Or actually, you gave me 7. You
Oops.
gave me 7 movies. Oh no! Look at this.
I was rushed. Someone
I'm
was
rushed.
standing over my shoulder.
I've only got 6.
Going.
Look.
Don't do it like that. What are you doing? A Christmas Story? That's your favorite? And needless to say, I was a little frazzled by my choosing of my favorites. And like, who's to, I don't think anyone should have a finite number of favorite Christmas movies. This is the time of year where you watch the films that invoke that special spirit in your heart that make you say it's Christmas time.
That is correct, but this show is strictly on our top 5.
Eat
in
shit,
an honorable
Michael.
mention. So get into that. My honorable mention is, of course, The Fat Man. The Fat Man, I think it's going to break my top 5 maybe the next couple of years. If one has to go, it's going to be Scrooged. I think Fat Man might take over Scrooged and bump Jingle All The Way to number 4. And Fat Man's going to be 5, probably next year. But Fat Man, it's hard in these days to come out with a Christmas movie that gets your attention and makes you want to watch it at least 2 to 3 times in a Christmas season. But this is by far, in my humble opinion, Mel Gibson's best character he's ever played. Riggs got nothing on Santa Claus from this one. Mad Max got nothing on Santa Claus from The Fat Man. Just keep on naming them. All these Mel Gibson movies, Payback, yeah, you got nothing on this Santa Claus.
He played John Smith in Pocahontas.
Okay. Noted. Animated characters. Got it. Still not better than the Santa Claus. So basically, this is a telling, and Laura said it earlier because it was one of her top 5. This is a telling of Santa Claus in a way you've never seen his story before. This is Santa Claus is married to Ruth, Mrs. Claus. They live up in the northern part of Canada, not the North Pole.
No, real quick, I'll correct you, though. He goes by Kris Kringle, so it's Mr. and Mrs. Kringle in Fat Man.
Okay, so Mr. and Mrs. Kringle. They, of course, are doing their thing up in, God, what was the part of Canada they live? Well, anyway, that's irrelevant. They have a factory up there. They've got elves, but it's not like it's straight up like his business is declining because kids are being so naughty, and the government pays him. The government pays him like these little VA Treasury checks to produce toys and to work for them, I guess. But I guess their business has declined and the money's not coming in the way Kris Kringle wants it. So the military comes in and signs a contract with Kris Kringle, and they work together. But there's this asshole 12-year-old boy that has won this science fair for the past 5 years in a row. And he loses to this girl, and this is like an entitled...
Michael, don't tell the whole movie.
I'm just giving like the summary of it, okay, the synopsis. Anyway, this kid's an asshole. He loses the science project. He gets coal from Santa. He puts a hit out on Santa. And one of the greatest Christmas villains, played by Walton Goggins, evil guy, goes and tries to kill Santa Claus. And this dude's a badass. He like takes out a whole military platoon, and Fat Man, definitely one of the best Christmas movies I've ever seen. So yeah, and if you can tell by our choices of movies, they're completely different. I like to go get a man type action movies, and you like the classics with a couple of the good ones in there.
Well, that's I think Christmas is about tradition and relearning those same familial lessons year after year and reigniting the same Christmas spirit while still adopting new traditions and keeping in the spirit but doing it in different ways. And
yeah, kids, so watch Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Charlie Brown's Christmas,
but also Fat Man.
And Fat Man. And SpongeBob, too, which I had watched for the first time.
Shaping up to be a wonderful holiday. Not your average, normal, everyday. That is, since obviously it couldn't make the list because it's not a movie, the SpongeBob SquarePants Christmas special is the thing that I turn on when it is time to decorate the apartment for Christmas, or when it's just time to get into the Christmas spirit. On God, that is the first thing that I turn on.
Well, it wasn't horrible. It wasn't horrible.
You laughed.
And you know what?
You laughed so hard.
Hammered listeners, we hope you enjoyed this episode of our top 5, 6, 7-ish, if you Laura, Christmas movies. Go out there. Whatever your favorite Christmas movies are, watch them, enjoy them, but watch Fat Man. Watch the Fat Man. I'm telling you, it's good. It's good, Laura.
But also watch the classics.
That's what I said. I said watch your favorites, but also watch Fat Man.
But no, you need to watch It's a Wonderful Life.
Sigh. Oh, gosh.
So fun story for you. Before we started recording, I threw up on Instagram a brief
I bet that was disgusting.
poll. And I just asked my followers anyway, what's your favorite Christmas movie? And I did get some responses. I would say 2 people said Die Hard.
Smart people.
3 people said Christmas Vacation. 1 person said It's a Wonderful Life. 1 person said Charlie Brown. 1 person said Home Alone. 1 person said White Christmas. And 1 person said Klaus. My heart.
Oh. And there you have it, folks.
So yeah, I'd say in a nutshell, all the good.
All right. We hope y'all enjoyed this episode of Hammered. If you disagree with our Christmas movie list, hey, send us an email. Let us know what your favorite Christmas movie is. Hit us up on our Facebook, or you can hit us up on our Instagrams, which you see on the screen right there. If you can't see them on the screen, it's at Hammered Podcast on Instagram or at lauramay.89. Check us out. Hope you enjoyed it. And we will see you next time on another episode of Hammered.
Merry Christmas! Yee.